Hi and welcome back to Animating a Keyboard using MIDI. Okay, so I spent a little bit of time carefully positioning the left hand, her left hand that is, and you can see I've put the thumb right on the edge of the key here, and I've got this fully stretched as I showed you how to do earlier on. And if we now look, that's the three keys there, this is the three keys here, and we should be able to get from between there to there now. So you can see this one's slightly over, that's because the finger's not bent yet. So we're in a very close position that we can start to animate that hand now. So what we'll do, we'll follow along, and this is the Wurzel keyboard. Now I've done a little bit of the right hand already. Okay, so the first thing we can see is that's gone down, and the most obvious finger will be this one here to fit in that position. Now because we've opened the hand right up, we now can close it in knowing that we have got the full stretch. So it's quite important that you get the hand stretched as fully as you can to start with, and then obviously move it back to the positions you want. So let's have a look at this one. So to start with, we're now faced with a slight problem that this finger's not going to reach. So we can go back to the carpal setting there, and we can start to move that one backwards and forwards, and you can see both of those are now at this point where we can't really do much with them. So the alternative to this is where the hand is, we're going to actually start to move the hand in position, okay? And in conjunction with the shoulder has got a front to back function there, so we can start to move that back in again, okay? And using that, you can see if we look on the side, we've got a nice placing of the hand there. So if you use these two, this one here, so if I just move that up a tiny little bit for you so you can see, and you can see where the thumb is. So now we can use the shoulder to push it back in again. So look, if we go that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we use the arm to bring it back down again, okay? So that's obviously the wrong way, so we go that way. So what I'm really doing is I'm very slowly manoeuvring the thumb back into position again. So I'm going to show you that again. So we're going to go back to shoulder, and we'll move that one so that it's going in towards the keyboard. And then we use the forearm to bring it back down again. So here we go again, back down again, and now you can see that thumb is getting close to where we want it on the keyboard. Now obviously when we look at this, we've now moved that hand, and that's taken quite a number of controls to get that in. Now what I ideally want is I want to put a bend in this finger, and we'll bring that around there like that so you can see it, and we want this finger here to start to go and rest down on the key, so we'll pop that one down there, use the side to side function to bring it into where we want it, and you can actually turn this round and have a look this way as well, just to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. Okay, so that's what we've got there for the second finger. Now because we've moved this arm again, I would strongly recommend that you place a point in time there. So that's the right forearm, so we'll do that one, and again with this, we'll do the right collar there, do apologise, and then we do the left collar there. So now we've put another fixed point in time because we've moved these arms. Okay, right, so now we've got a couple of points in time where you can see that change has now occurred, okay? And we haven't made them constant yet, but we can do that later on. You'll find if you're going forward, the constant doesn't affect it, but when it comes back, you can see you could have a problem. So right, what we're going to do, we'll go to the next one, and that was obviously the right hand moving there. Across to the next one, again that's the right hand moving. Okay, and keep going along. and that's still the right hand. Now do notice that the MIDI here has got other points in time, because if you open this up, in fact, you can see there's other channels involved. So don't get confused with the MIDI there as opposed to what's actually in the keyboard. So this is the Wurzel one, so this is the one we're going to follow. So we'll carry on along here, and again there's not much, there's a little bit of a change going on there. Now this is the problem, I'm going to show you this now, this is the problem when you leave it as constant. See, as it's moved, it's cutting through the keys. So we'll do that in a second, but before we go too far, I'll have a look along here and see what the other notes are doing. So there we go. At that point there, both of those go up. So we're going to use, again, right at the top end, we're going to use the up and down function on the thumb, and we're going to use the third one there to bring that one up. Now as long as you've got these hands resting quite nicely, then that would work quite well. So you don't want to tend to bend too many of these parts of the finger. If you can get away with just using one, then that's fine. That's a nicer way of doing it. So we carry on along here, and we keep going. There we go. So we've got a change just there. So now we're going to examine this one. We know we've got the stretch, so we're going to go with this one now, and we're going to bend that finger down into there. Okay, now this is when you might need to move your side to side a bit across there. Slowly bring that down. That actual finger's a tiny bit straight, so I'm going to put a little bit of an angle in that one there, just a tiny bit. And again in this one here, a little bit of a bend in that one. Okay, and then we go back to the third one, which is the one we want to use to make the actual connection with the key. So now we've got that connecting really nicely, and we carry on London. So there's another one just there, so we come back to this one. Now we know the thumb's coming down here, so ideally, again, this finger really wants to come down into here. Now that's not going to work because we won't have enough side to side. We can try it, but you can see there that there isn't enough side to side to get that across. And even if I use the index here, we'll try that one across. It's not enough to do it. So what we're going to need to do now is move the whole hand again and reset it. So we leave that one there, and bearing in mind we're going to need to move this one as well. Okay, so we're going to get this hand again, and we'll kick off with the left hand, and we'll try and move that again. So here we go. So at that point you can see that one's going to fit, and we can also see that that one needs a bit of adjustment. So we're going to come across there, and don't forget you've got the carpal set in here where with a bit of luck you can get that last bit. Okay, so now we're going to see how we look now. So that's not too bad. So we can get that one quite adequately there. If you want to get a bit more angle, you can take that one back out again, that bend. Okay, and put a little bit more in at the top. Okay, so now we want to make that look fairly natural. Okay, so that's fine. I'm quite happy where all that is. Here, this finger's a little bit too proud, so we'll take that one out. Let's put that there. Okay. So this is the one I'm going to move, and I'm just going to put a bit more of a gentle bend in there, and a little bit more of a gentle bend there. Okay, and that little finger, we'll put a tiny little bit of a bend in that one, and a tiny bend in there. Now, funny enough, the more you do this, the more natural you make it, it will start to get easier. So as you start to move the notes around and start doing this, it all becomes easier because you're getting that hand into a nice position to play the keyboard effectively. So we'll do the side to side there, and I'm going to move that there. So the hand now looks quite nicely placed. Over here, you can see at that point, something's happened over here. So we'll have a quick look, okay? So we'll come back to that in a second. So at this point here, where we have again started to move things, okay? We're going to go back up here again. So the right collar's there, punch that one in. The left collar there, punch that one in. Okay, so now look, I'm just going to close these down so we can just see how it looks. Okay, so this is the left and right collar, and these are the changes we've made. So now I'm going to get all of those, the left and right. First of all, we do that one, and the second one, we're going to do that one. So I've turned them all into constant. Okay, so we've still got something moving over here. So let's have a look at this initial bit here. So I'm going to go along that one, return them to constant, and we're going to put them to constant. So when you get some odd changes occurring, it's well worth you just checking out what's going on. So now when we come in now, you can see that hand's where it is at the moment, and we'll carry on London. Okay. Right, so we'll have a look there now. Now you can see that there's a straight change straight down into there now. We can make the one before that here, if we make that one TCB, and now watch it come in. Okay. And this one here, we can make the right hand again TCB. What you now get is a gentle one coming in, okay, and then once it's gone into that bit, it's more or less positioned. But now the notes play, we carry on along here, and you see that note's coming straight up there, and as we go along you can start to see that these notes are now coming backwards and forwards, but straight into where we've left them. Okay, so we go along a bit further. Okay, so now we can see that the hand's got itself in the right position, and then we can come along here now, and you can see the notes will go up and down, and they don't cross through each note as things move. So they're going up and down quite precisely now, and the fingers are starting to look quite natural. Okay, so that's how we carry on throughout the whole program. So I'm going to leave you with that. Have some fun and enjoy your animation, and thank you for listening, and take good care of yourselves.